It is now 60 years with the Treaty of Rome, the founding treaty of the European Union. Among the policies set up in Rome, there was the common commercial policy. Member states decided to take on board one single tariff versus the rest of the world, the so-called common external tariff, and creating a customs union that started to be put in place in 1969. After 60 years of this trade integration, both within the euro area, liberalizing trade flows of goods and services within the euro area, and outside versus the rest of the world, what is the status of trade policy in Europe? Well, there are three major challenges. First one, since a couple of years, the European Union has decided to establish deep and comprehensive free trade areas with partner countries. What does it mean? It means that the European Union is pursuing liberalization of trade flows with selected partner countries in the world, but not only related to trade. This is also covering investment, common policies, environmental standards, social standards, and the like. Examples of these policies are, of course, the EU-Canada trade agreement, but there is also under negotiation an EU-Japan trade agreement and EU-India trade agreement. As you all know, there's under negotiation formally, although we don't know what will happen, a trade and investment partnership with the United States and an investment treaty with China. These trade agreements are important because they not only liberalize trade flows, but attaching other policies to this liberalization, they help to manage globalization in ways that should be not so harmful for people in the countries concerned. The second major development, or I would say a major challenge for the EU trade policy, is of course related to Brexit. What will be the role of the United Kingdom when it leaves the European Union? What type of trade agreement are we going to sign with the United Kingdom? Is the United Kingdom going to be part of the free trade area that currently links, for example, the EU with Norway or Switzerland? Or is the United Kingdom going to end up like any other country with which we do not have specific trade agreements, so therefore entering into just the multilateral trade regime set by the WTO? And will we need to change and accommodate a special position for the UK, changing our EU trade policy? This is a challenge that 60 years after Rome probably is nowadays the major institutional challenge for the EU trade policy itself. The last challenge, if you want, the last prominent role that the EU has achieved lately is the combination of the euro area with the Maastricht Treaty, so the creation of the single currency, and the common commercial policy. What happened is that basically the countries that entered into the agreement for the single currency, because of the fixation of the currency and the ability to exploit, let's say, no price competition in terms of exchange rates, started to integrate much more deeply among themselves and created a truly European value chain. This European value chain is now enormously successful. The euro area alone, of course thanks to the role of Germany, but also Italy or France, the euro area alone is now having the record trade surplus versus the rest of the world. So we are exporting much more than we are importing. This is of course positive for the euro area as a whole, because this is a sign of our competitiveness that's linked to our single currency, but it's also a challenge because of course the rest of the world sees the euro area as competing hardly, especially against the United States. And this is a challenge that we have to face in the months to come with the new Trump presidency.